Welcome back to another tutorial video, and today we're going through the overhead press. In the overhead press, you want to be consistent rep to rep just like any other movement, so we're going to start with grip width. Your grip width should be just outside shoulder width, so if you walk up to a bar, that's going to be different for everybody. You want to avoid gripping way too wide because your wrist will not be stacked over your elbow from either the side or the front. Same goes with gripping too narrow. You kind of want to just go just outside shoulder width and get your elbows underneath that barbell. Once you find what that looks like, for me it's one extended thumb on the barbell away from the knurling line. Once you find what that is for you, be consistent every time you return back to the overhead press so you can build consistency from one session to the next. If you are watching from the side, you want your bar path to be as straight as possible. So with your elbows underneath that bar, you want to press it straight over your head. To do so, you might actually have to tuck your chin back just a tad, and then as that bar gets past your face, you might have to actually push your head forward just a tad to get that barbell straight over your body. When you're extended, when you're all the way overhead, you want the barbell to line up straight over your shoulder, and straight over your shoulder to line up with your hips, and your hips to line up with the middle of your foot. One common mistake I see in the gym is people are arcing way back and they're not pressing over their body, they're pressing out in front of their body. So that leads to a really wonky looking, not only bar path, but an arched lower back, and you're not really developing your shoulders best as you could. Another thing that I see pretty commonly is people wearing hats in the gym. So if you're wearing a hat in an overhead press, turn that thing backwards. If we want that barbell to travel straight up over our body, if we have a bill of a hat out in front of ourselves, we're going to have to go up and around that thing and arch back. That's one of those things that I was talking about before. We don't want to press out in front of our body. We want to press straight over our body. So either lose the hat or turn it backwards. And just like every video, I'll tell you to standardize your range of motion, meaning you should be starting and stopping each rep in the same spot. I personally prefer to press all the way overhead, starting right on my chest. Another acceptable range of motion is bringing that barbell just about chin height and pressing overhead again, but I do like that deep range of motion again off that chest. Common mistake is partial repetitions where you're barely moving that barbell overhead. You're just not going to get a lot of development out of your shoulders if you're doing it that way. So don't be a bro and actually get decent range of motion. On the flip side of things, the short range of motion starting from the chest and only pressing to your forehead, that's not going to get the job done either. Shoot for that full range of motion and do the same thing rep in and rep out. Last thing that I would mention is avoid doing full body push presses in the overhead press. I got no problem with somebody doing a push press, it's just a different movement. So if you're doing an overhead press and you're trying to record your weights and remember what you can actually lift, leave your legs out of this movement, flex your butt and press that bar right over your head, and avoid doing pressing from the lower body. Be consistent rep to rep, that's how you make progress. This lift does progress rather slowly compared to a lot of major lifts, so have patience on this one as you try and make progress. That is your overhead press video. This is my microphone. Let us know what you want to see next. Like the video, subscribe to the page, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sip H, that super bass got boom, boom. Got me dead live, I'm Kurt Cobain, boom, boom.